also be implemented, and after it becomes a success, ISRO will become the 4th country in the world to achieve this, and that is why you see over there that small streak, that what over there that looks like a shooting star, that looks like a comet flying, that is actually PSLV-C60 carrying another mission, and that definitely is going to be a success. The time period could be like 7 days, 12, 14 days and such, but there you have it, a successful launch, and in like few minutes or so we will know what Spadex has done, the chaser and the target.
This is truly historic. At precisely 10 hours, and this is happening at 10 p.m. 15 seconds, the PSLV-C60 with Spadex.
Second stage engine started.
Second stage engine started. Listen in to scientists at the Indian Space Research Organization talking about a very successful launch of space docking experiment or Spadex. This is a pioneering mission to establish India's capability in orbital docking. It's a key technology for future human space flights and satellite missions in space. Listen in, I'll get you much more on this big story.
The legendary Vikas engine developing 800 kilonewtons thrust in vacuum.
यान के सभी तंत्र सामान्य प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं और यान उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ रहा है। यह द्वितीय चरण है जिसका कार्यकाल लगभग 150 सेकंड का होगा। इस दौरान वह 800 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न कर रहा है और इंजन जिम्बल की मदद से दिशा निर्धारण किया जा रहा है। इस दौरान यान क्लोज लूप गाइडेंस के अंतर्गत काम कर रहा है। कुछ ही क्षणों में हम पेलोड फेयरिंग यानी ऊष्मा कवच का पृथक्करण देखेंगे।
Payload fairing separated.
That's the next major flight event achieved, the separation of payload fairing.
Second stage performance normal.
प्रमोचन यान अब घने वातावरण से बाहर जा चुका है। अब इसकी ऊंचाई लगभग 130 किलोमीटर हो चुकी है, इसलिए ऊष्मा कवच की अब कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है। इसे यान से पृथक कर दिया गया है।
The second stage operation lasts for 151 seconds and will be jettisoned 4 minutes 20 seconds into flight. Shar and Port Blair stations tracking currently.
Is India rising on the world stage? So what is this mission all about? This mission involves the launching of 2 specially designed satellites. Both the satellites weigh approximately 200 kilos, 220 kilos each. And they're using India's or ISRO's workhorse, the PSLV, the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle rocket. Now the Spadex mission, it's a very vital step. Why is this so vital? Because India seeks to become only the 4th country in the world to achieve space docking technology. What does space technology mean? This capability is very crucial when you have a manned mission or future missions that require multiple spacecrafts to work simultaneously and together, collaboratively in orbit. And this is of course a low orbit, about 470 odd kilometers from Earth. Such a lunar explanation and for its interplanetary missions. So what is happening right now are the space missions going into low orbit.
Vacuum thrust.
Pramod Madhav now joins me from Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh for more on this. And Pramod, this is truly historic. Also the fact that everything is going as per plan. There was apparently a 2-minute delay and we are told that's also because of congestion. But bring us details of what's happening right now.
It surely is. It's a very important mission, and a very interesting fact is the way how simply ISRO is accomplishing it, because space docking experiment is something that is very much essential. Only 3 countries have successfully done it so far. That is the United States of America, Russia and China. And what important here is that this actually helps in future modular designs, future adding of satellites. You don't have to spend more for completely replacing the satellites or any kind of system. So this modular design is very important for Gaganyaan, for Chandrayaan 3, Chandrayaan 4, and also for Bharat's own space we have the space station also planned, so for that also it is very much essential, and this is going to be done using AI and robotics and things like that from Earth. So like what they're going to do is that we have two satellites, one is called as a Chaser and the other one is Target. Interestingly, the Chaser and Target actually can change their interface according to ISRO's plans, and they are going to travel at a speed of distance of 20 kilometers. This will be brought very shorter, into a short distance, and at one point the distance will be only microseconds. They have to alter it, and using that technology they will actually dock it. Dock it means simply connecting these two satellites in space, and what happens is that after that ISRO wants to successfully transfer power from one satellite to the other. Once it is achieved, it is actually opening an absolutely beautiful future for ISRO and our nation, Gaurav.
Truly remarkable, truly remarkable. So two satellites, they meet in space and they interlink. Not only do they interlink, there's a transfer of power or electricity that takes place. The moment that transfer of electricity takes place, you know that that experiment is successful. And imagine, we'll only be the 4th country in the world to do it moments from now, and at much lesser the costs. That's something that's truly remarkable, the way India hopes to achieve this, Pramod.
It surely is, Gaurav, because it's a technology marvel, and imagine doing something 450 kilometers away from Earth in cold space, and the various kind of, it's a kind of a three-dimensional work. You have to worry about the altitude, you have to worry about the distance, you have to align them together. That's why we call this as a rendezvous point. You have a docking system, it has to be brought together exactly, and it has to, in a way, these two satellites, the Chaser and the Target, must communicate with each other and to the base as well. It might sound easy for us to say that, but doing it in absolute darkness, using only mathematics and other kind of precision techniques. Of course, we have sensors and everything, and this is where ISRO is excelling, and this is where we truly believe it's definitely going to be a success for ISRO, Gaurav.
And the whole world is watching this. Let's for a moment dip in and listen in to the progress that's taking.
यान अपने उद्दिष्ट दिशा की ओर.
3rd stage separated.
We have a confirmation from Range Operations Director that the 3rd stage separation has taken place.
4th stage engine started.
And the 4th stage, uppermost stage PS4, is currently operating.
कोस्टिंग फेज समाप्त हो चुका है. तृतीय चरण को यान से पृथक किया जा चुका है तथा इसके पश्चात चतुर्थ चरण PS4 स्टेज का प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है और सभी तंत्र सामान्य कार्य कर रहे हैं.
We are 9 minutes 15 seconds into flight. Current altitude 417 kilometers.
अब यान की ऊंचाई 423 किलोमीटर हो चुकी है तथा सापेक्ष गति 6.39 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड. उद्दिष्ट कक्षा के लिए यह ऊंचाई 476 किलोमीटर की होनी है तथा सापेक्ष गति 7.3 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड की प्राप्त करनी बाकी है.
I have Dr. Jitendra Singh, Minister of State, not just in the Prime Minister's office, but Science and Technology, who joins me on this special broadcast. Dr. Jitendra Singh, describe to our viewers what you feel at this moment and your interactions with scientists as this very complex and difficult operation gets underway, sir.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you for getting me there. All of us are excited. I can see you also there. I think my first thought is absolutely mesmerizing. India today joins the select league of nations, becoming the 4th nation in the world to enter into the space docking technology capability. And I think what is even more noteworthy is that it has been achieved through a purely indigenously developed technology. The mission is absolutely indigenous and it's been appropriately called Bharatiya Docking System. And to that extent, it also lives up to the national priorities laid down by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Atmanirbhar Bharat. And I think this also paves the way for another mantra given by him, that of Viksit Bharat, because this is going to pave the way for several futuristic technologies which are lined up in the years to come, like Gaganyaan, the Bharatiya Antariksh Station. And personally for me, I think, as you rightly said in the beginning, I'm privileged to be associated with the Department of Space, which is, achieving global wonders one after the other.
Sir, this is truly a global wonder, considering we'll only be the fourth country in the world to do it. But, sir, one, doing it completely indigenously, the faith that has been put in our scientists and the faith that they're living up to. Please describe, sir, the complexities that are involved in such a complex operation of having two satellites link up in space and transfer electricity, and why this is so significant for a future manned mission, sir.
Absolutely, Gaurav. It's very, very interesting, very fascinating, also quite romantic to an extent. And before that, now that you've asked me that, I think I should bring it to the notice of the viewers that our ISRO was established in the year 1969, which is the year which has gone down in the history when the first human being landed on the surface of Moon, Neil Armstrong, through that Apollo 8 American mission. But today we are first to have landed on the southern pole of Moon. So such a long journey covered in such a short time, when we are able to offer cues to those who were much ahead of us, in spite of the fact that we started our space journey much, much later, which means that our space experts, our space scientists had the acumen, had the potential, had the capacity to put in hard work. They were committed, they had the passion, but possibly they didn't have that enabling milieu which comes from the level of the policy makers, which happened after 2014. And you will see, one after the other, today India is in a position to be reckoned with as far as space technology is concerned. Now, this space docking technology will not only help us to gather inputs and also gather experience for a number of our future missions, which of course include the Gaganyaan, the Bharatiya Antariksh Station, and it will also give us some kind of a geopolitical edge or maybe a geopolitical position. So India, I think today, truly has heralded the journey to the destination of Viksit Bharat.
Sir, this is a very, very important milestone. It's already at 417 kilometers, and 470 kilometers from Earth is
the... sorry, Gaurav, when you talk of the complexity, you see how precisely our scientists, our friends in the ISRO have worked day and night from a speed of nearly 3,000, 4,000 kilometers is going to get reduced to just about 0.36 kilometers, in course of time, in a few days, maybe that is scheduled to be around 6th of January, when they come close to each other and then actually merge, in the layman's language. It will be a merger of two satellites, which will, maybe tomorrow you could have one astronaut walking from one vehicle into the other, or maybe transfer of certain important material, including batteries, etc., which will be useful not only in the transfer of several inputs, technologies, or carry-home messages, but also from the point of view of the astronauts' biological, milieu at that time and his physiological conditions at that time. In more ways than one, we have actually, I would say, broken the ceiling down.
Amazing. And this is such a beautiful cracking of that ceiling, of that glass ceiling that you speak of. But Dr. Jitendra Singh, as Minister of Science and Technology and Space, sir, please explain to our viewers the various milestones that the Narendra Modi government, intends to achieve in terms of a manned mission to space, our own space station, and our own, Gaganyaan, and the yatris that we want in space, sir. Explain that to us, sir.
No, I'm glad, Gaurav, you gave me an opportunity to say that. I think if you ask me about the important missions that are lined up, of course, this is the last mission of the year. In 2025 January, we are looking forward to Navig 2, which is the navigation with India constellation. Again, a mission which was started in this last one decade during the Modi government. In 2025, we would have the last dress rehearsal for Gaganyaan with a female robo, which will be a Vayomitra Gaganyaan. And in 2025 itself, we will have a US satellite for mobile communication. 2025, we are going to have a very important ISRO mission, which is in collaboration with NASA. It's called actually NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar, which gives you a full Earth picture every 12 days up to as much as 1 centimeter accuracy. So we are then, going to partner with NASA, or you can say NASA is going to partner with us. And that's the reason when Prime Minister Modi was there in Washington, the US government solicited Indian astronauts to accompany them to the International Space Station. And then, if not by the end of 2025, in the beginning of 2026, we will have Gaganyaan, first Indian human mission. Of course, we had an Indian astronaut in space in the form of Rakesh Sharma in the early 1980s, but that was a Soviet mission. So again, this will be totally an indigenous mission. We already have 4 astronauts identified for that. 2027, we'll have Chandrayaan 4. 2028, we'll have Venus mission. 2035, India's own space station called Bharatiya Antariksh Station. And on 2040, we'll have an Indian laying his foot on the surface of Moon. So it's going to be that kind of an eternity, that kind of a chronology. And since you've given me this opportunity, I think the viewers will be fascinated to know that today we are launching not only Indian satellites, but we are launching a large number of, or maybe more number of satellites from US and Europe, the European Space Agency. And we are also generating revenue to add to the space economy of India and making India's space economy an important component of the global space economy. You'll be glad to know that in the last few years, we have earned as much as 292 million euros.
Wow.
And as much as 172 million US dollars, simply by launching the American satellites and the European satellites. So you can understand where we started from. We started off late, but we have had a quantum leap in the last 1 decade. So that's what makes it very fascinating. It makes it a huge, huge success story.
Absolutely. Dr. Jitendra Singh, I want to stay with me, sir, as we quickly listen in, cut across and listen in to the ISRO chief.
And also, the second phase of firing will be at about 1 hour, 20 minutes later, after the liftoff. So that process is continuing to enable POEM operations to happen. Further to that, the spacecraft is also going to wait for the solar panel deployment. So the team spacecraft is looking at whether the panels are deployed or not. So we'll get a confirmation soon. So as far as we are concerned, the mission is very well as far as the rocket is concerned. So it has placed the satellite in the right orbit. The Spadex 2 satellites are moved. You would have seen in the animation that they moved little one behind the other. So over the period of time, for the days, it will pick up further distance, travel to almost a 20-kilometer distance away. And then the rendezvous and docking process will start. And we hope that the docking process can happen in another 1 week. The nominal time is going to be approximately 7th of January. So I'm waiting for the panel deployment status. I think you have the status? Yes, sir. Yes. So I would like to say that the panels of the satellites have been deployed successfully. So congratulations to the entire team of the PSLV project who put the satellite in the right orbit. Also the Spadex team who worked a very innovative, novel, cost-effective docking demonstration mission using 2 small satellite bus architecture. So congratulations to them as well. And also to very important part is of this mission is the POEM-4, where we have 24 payloads hosted, which are from the startups, industries, academic institutions, research laboratories, and also from ISRO centers. All the R&D payloads are there waiting for testing in the coming days, in fact in months. So congratulations to them for successful accomplishment of all the mission objectives through the POEM. So once again, thank you. Before I hand over, I would like to request the mission director, Mr. Jayakumar, to speak a few words.
Thank you, sir. So, hearty congrats to Team ISRO for venturing into the exciting domain of space docking. This mission is once again a POEM-intensive mission. We have 24 payloads on board, and congratulations to the team who have developed these payloads adhering to our schedules. And congratulations to InSpace for facilitating the delivery of these payloads. This time we are flying the indigenous Vikram 3201 based mission management computer in POEM. Also we have interesting experiments like space robots doing debris capture and inch-worm walking, then plasmaspheric and electron density measurements. 3 biological experiments are there, advanced inertial sensors, green propulsion systems, etc. And this month, in fact, we had 2 launches of PSLV from the same launch pad, that is the first launch pad. So after the first launch, the SDSC team, SHAR team, was very quick in refurbishing the launch pad. Special thanks to them. And also to the teams in VSSC. We also had the movement of the fully integrated vehicle that is up to the PS4 stage from PIF to MST. So let me thank the SDSC and VSSC teams for making this possible. On this occasion, let me thank Chairman ISRO, who is a role model for all of us, and all the center directors for the ardent support provided, and to the mission executives, Sri Damodaran, Chandramouli, Grahadure, Raghavendra, and Surendran, who have worked as a coherent team. I thank all the SDS and SR agencies spread across different centers for their tremendous efforts to make this launch on schedule. Let me take this opportunity to thank chairman and members of Lab, MRR, FRR, ORC, and all the DRTs for the extensive reviews and clearing all systems. I place on record our deep appreciation for our industry partners for the key role they play in realizing different systems and carrying out the integration of the vehicle as per schedule. Let me also thank my own PSLV project team for their tireless efforts put in for the past few months. Thanks to the admin and auxiliary staff who have supported our campaign activities. Finally, I thank our dear family members for understanding us and providing wholehearted support for keeping our mission successful. Wishing all of you a happy new year 2025. Jai Hind.
The concept of the docking experiment in orbit has been a long journey in terms of conceptualization, the architecture of these 2 satellites that came about, and building it over many years of work done by the team at URSC, UR Rao Satellite Center. The current satellite project director will speak to you now.
Respected Chairman ISRO and our various center directors and distinguished members of our ISRO community who have all assembled here, and my dear colleagues. Good evening to all of you. At the outset, I would like to congratulate our PSLV team for the 2 successful launches that in a month. I think it's a record, and for proving that way the vehicle's robustness once again. You have also placed our twin babies in a perfect circular orbit as per our requirement, and I'm happy to share the news that our solar panels are successfully deployed and the SpaceX are on their journey, unfolding their wings towards the docking experiment, which is expected to be happening around January 1st week. This mission is very interesting and challenging.
And I have Dr. Jitendra Singh with me once again on this special broadcast. Dr. Jitendra Singh, now that you've got all the inputs that are coming in, the project successful so far, what is the feedback that you've received, sir?
Yeah, yes, of course, all of us are in touch, and for the last few days, I and Somnath have been speaking to each other more than once in a day. In fact, even in the last 1 hour, we are almost, online with each other. Now, very interestingly, you asked about the complexities. I think that's important for the viewers to understand how precisely and how discreetly all this has been worked out. Because in the near vacuum space that happens to be there in the space, I mean, this is for the understanding of the common citizen. This mission will dock 2 satellites which would be orbiting at a speed of over 28,000 kilometers. To be very precise, 28,800 kilometers per hour. Now, this is a challenging task because then both the satellites would be carefully maneuvered to reduce their relative velocities to, just about 0.036 kilometers. So you can understand 2 vehicles, walking side by side, driving side by side at a speed of as much as nearly 30,000. And then gradually slowing down to come down to just about maybe 300 kilometers or even lesser than that. or 30 kilometers, so that they could actually get together close to each other, then exchange notes. In this case, exchange, whatever. So that's why the two satellites have been designated as the chaser satellite and the target satellite. So target is the one to which the other vehicle is approaching, and chaser is the one which is expected to approach. And this is accomplished. Now this validates transfer of so many other, articles, both human and non-human. It could be transfer of power between the doctor, spacecraft, and the operating payload. Suppose the battery is getting out of touch and you want the satellite to stay there longer than you had actually anticipated or planned, or maybe if the span is 2 years, you want to extend it further, or maybe the astronaut is being held up there, like in the case of Sunita Williams. Or you want the astronaut to walk in and the other one to walk in. So this will, one level will lead to the other. So I think this is something which is going to make a huge, huge difference in our future endeavors. And it's amazing that the Indian scientists and Indian workers, Indian experts could accomplish this absolutely on their own, without any assistance from any other quarter.
And that is so significant. The fact that you're lauding it, it has the support of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the country. That's so heartening for India's scientists who've been able to achieve this as part of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And truly, what a magnificent end to 2024, ending it with a big bang in terms of this major achievement. Dr. Jitendra Singh, for joining me here on India Today. Many thanks, sir. I need to slip into a quick break as we watch this magnificent experiment unfold in space. We'll get you much more on this big experiment in the days and weeks ahead.